and welcome to another episode of the Niche Girls podcast. I'm Kristen,
I'm Yolanda.
I'm Jessie.
and we have a very exciting topic today. There's going to be some hot takes in there, so I will let us. I'll divulge that in a minute. But first, how are you guys doing? How's everyone's week going?
Go ahead.
Good. Yeah, nothing crazy. It's been really, really, really hot outside.
Yeah,
So,
Yeah.
I've been trying to avoid going outside.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. We're
So,
Yeah.
going
that's all
out
right.
later. That's what I did this week too. We went to Hollywood. Well, this was a couple weeks ago now, but we went to Hollywood
Yeah.
Studios and just went at like 4 o'clock because it was just,
Yeah. And honestly, like I've been waiting for the rain to come in to leave my house
yeah,
because anything before the rain is just
Horrifying.
you walk outside and you get hit with the wall of humidity and it's like you can't breathe.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been really hot. You definitely have to be prepared. Watch our hot tips on be prepared for the summer because
Yeah.
I was definitely doing those hot tips yesterday and it
Yeah.
helped a lot.
Yeah.
It's been
What about
crazy.
you, Yolanda? Yeah.
I've just been working a lot. I agree with the heat when I did the rope drop day when my friends were in town. It was insanely hot, and we had Genie Plus as well. But like, if we didn't, I would not have wanted to wait through like the Slinky Dog line. Like
Oh
it was
God.
insane. And then when I went for Tron the other day, they closed Tron during lightning, and it was pouring, but we couldn't get out of line in time because the line wouldn't like move. So I got absolutely soaked. So
Oh my
yeah, it was
God.
a journey, but it was a good week.
Ugh. Sounds like
Fun.
so much fun.
It
Yeah.
was a time. It
Fun,
was a
fun,
time.
fun. It was so hot yesterday. I said to my kids, I'm like, why don't you? I got back. I was doing some stuff and I got home and I'm like, man, why don't you guys get your bathing suits on? Let's go to the pool. And they were like, it's too hot. I'm like, it's too hot for the pool. They're like, I don't want to be outside. And I was like, all right, I'll allow it. Like,
All right.
I get it. It was
I get
just
it.
like, even in the sun and like, it's so, like the pool water was just like bath water just from the sun beating down on it.
Yeah,
It's so hot.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, we can watch a movie. So we watched Harry Potter.
yeah.
And
That's
There was a
amazing.
guest at the bar yesterday talking about how they in South Florida they went and the water was 90 degrees at the beach. Like the beach water was 90 degrees.
that's
Yeah.
so wild.
Ooh.
Yeah, our pool
Yeah.
was up to like 88, 89. I think it was 89 with like no heater, no nothing, just like the sun. So like
Yeah.
and that was in the morning. Like it would have gotten worse. So
That's insane.
Yeah.
And
I
at
went
that
last
point, they're
night to
like
the
barely
pool
cooling
and it was
down.
hot. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
wild.
I know.
well,
We went
that's
outside
it,
and we
guys.
grilled dinner, so
Central
Yeah.
Florida, either don't come right now or come like prepared to just
yeah.
be hot.
I mean, hang out at your resort, go
Yeah,
Yeah.
swimming, see some characters, have some fun character dining, go to the parks later in the day, like
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
when it's cool.
But I
Explore
mean,
the
it's almost
nightlife.
August, so it'll
Yeah.
start to cool down in the
Yeah.
fall, maybe a little
Maybe.
bit, sort of.
Fall.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's what we're dealing with here. So, onward. So, today we're going to talk about the things in Disney World that we feel are overrated.
Yep.
So, yeah, like I said, there's going to be some hot takes in here, and you're probably going to disagree with us on some of them.
That's okay. We want to hear it.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
want to hear it. So, let's get into it. Jessie, you want to go first? Give us your first overrated thing.
So my first number one that popped into my head that I was like, oh my God, people are going to hate me or kill me or something, I don't know, is Rise of the Resistance. Because it is just, we talked about it a little bit on our last episode, but the line is so long. If you don't really know Star Wars, you have no idea what's going on.
Yeah.
It was a cool experience. Like, I rode it once. It was a cool experience. The only reason I got to ride it is because my friend had a lightning lane
Yeah.
and was like, hey, I'll buy your lightning lane. And I was like, okay, put
Mm-hmm.
me in your queue thingy. By all means, go ahead. Um, the ride was fine. Am I gonna wait for it again? Am I gonna pay for it again? No, absolutely not.
Yeah. I've
I
never
love
been
that
on it,
one.
so I cannot, I recuse myself from this discussion as somebody who has never ridden it,
Well,
I
which we talked
you
about on the
did
past
say,
episode.
I mean, yeah, and that's the thing. Like, you've lived here, but you
Yeah.
haven't been on it because the ride is too long. The line is too
Line
long.
is too, yeah. I think
I
it
don't wait
is
on
like,
anything past 20 minutes. I don't care what it is. I won't wait because I live
Nah.
here. So why am I waiting?
why would you? Yeah. I think it's
Yeah, my
worth it,
time
but
is
I think
precious.
it's like the hype. There's a lot of hype, and I think when David went on it, like it had been so hyped up for him that he was like, "Oh, I thought it'd be better." But for me, the one thing that always like I look forward to when I ride it is the set build out inside is insane. Like
It is.
it's just absolutely crazy the way like how big the ATs are and like everything like it's just crazy. So that's the only I think saving grace I have to it. But I can agree because I think some
Yeah.
people overhype it, and I think that same argument can almost be made about like a lot of Batu from the standpoint of like
Yeah.
if you are not a Star Wars person, this replaced so much of what Hollywood Studios was, and like I think
Yeah.
Disney in the last 10 years has put a lot of stock into Star Wars, and I understand because they paid a pretty penny for it, but I think they might have underestimated how many fans it does have, and so that's the only thing. I've seen a lot of merch from like Batu and stuff not been bought, go to Cascanet, and so it just like I don't know.
Yeah.
I can see how
Yeah.
it's all
And
kind
that's
of
the thing,
overrated.
like, I mean, when I was a cast member, like a very new baby cast member, when I went to Star Wars for the first time because like I said, I was working there, so we got a cast member preview of Star Wars. And honestly, like I said, I'm not a Star Wars person. I have not seen any of the movies. I have attempted them, but I've never fully watched the movies from start to finish. But when I walked in, I was amazed.
Mm.
I was like, wow, this is amazing. This is so, so cool. Even though I have no recollection of Star Wars, I know nothing about it, I still think the land is astonishing.
Yeah. It's beautiful what
But
they did.
it's beautiful, and I love how they did it. I love the characters walking around. I think it's so cool. I also love, all those little characters in there. But the thing is, like, the actual Rise ride, just there's something about it that I just can't. I think it was also the hype for me. Like it was so hyped up, and everyone's like, "You need to ride it. It's the best ride ever. It's the best ride ever." And then I rode it, and I was like, "What's so great about this?"
What am I doing here? I think in
That's
general,
all
a
right.
lot of things like there's a couple examples which I'll give you. Things get Disney hypes it up themselves, and then people hype it
Yeah.
up, and I'm talking just lands in general here, and then it opens, and they all follow the same formula. There's two attractions. There's a quick service restaurant, Pandora, Toy Story Land, Batu. Like they
Yeah.
you we
Yeah.
kind of get. I think I've said this before. We get this like really big like blue sky plans, and then we what we wind up getting is like such a like a toned down version of that then you do kind of feel like, well, what was this hype all about? Like this is what is
Yeah.
alien swirling saucers, like come on.
I love alien swirling saucers.
It's just
I love it.
you're gonna wait
It's my
45
go-to.
minutes 55 minutes to like spin and spit like that. I don't, if it
Yeah.
was a walk on, fine, but like it's
I
not.
get it. Yeah. But yeah, that's my one. That's my like major overrated for like everyone's gonna be like, oh my god, I love that ride, which that's fine. Absolutely love it. I don't want to go on it, which, hey, power to you. You won't have me on it.
One less person in the queue.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay, so Yolanda, you're up. What's your overrated?
Okay, I just realized that it shouldn't be because of the shirt I'm wearing, but this is not necessarily the Dole Whip. So it is the Dole Whip. But I will clarify. Um, I think it's overrated for a couple reasons. One, there used to be a 24-hour Dole Whip window in like the Polynesian before social media. Okay, like this existed. It was a thing, but now it is like a 30-minute line all the time. You can mobile order and everything, which is great. But it's good. It's non-dairy, it's pineapple, it's refreshing, right? All those things are awesome. But like is it like sit and ask yourself, right? If you got this not at Disney World, if you pulled up to a shop and you got this, how would you feel about it? Because I've asked myself this before, and
I wouldn't wait a half hour for it anywhere else other than
No.
Disney World.
no, it would just be tangy, kind of watery pineapple soft serve. Like, it's not the creamiest.
Yeah.
They serve it with a hole in the middle, so you don't get like a full, like I don't cheap out on you. Like, I
Sometimes
just,
it does differ by batch, I will say, because I've had good batches that
okay,
are like, holy cow, this is so good. And
yes,
then you're right, I've had some where it's like a little bit more icy, not like
yes,
that creamy sort of
Yeah.
consistency. And I'm like,
yeah.
eh.
It melts
So,
really fast during the summer because it's non-dairy. It
oh
doesn't have
my
a
God,
lot to
yeah.
hold it up. I will say the coconut and the pineapple together, next level. The
Yes, that's
coconut
it.
one, so good. But I just feel like, for instance, like the Dole Whip by the water thing and everything, coming from like a social media standpoint, it is really fun that they constantly have new flavors and new floats. They're impossible like to get photos of, and I can imagine that it would be impossible to share with like a large party of kids. Maybe you're a family of four and you're all trying to share. It's gonna melt within seconds because they're in these little plastic cups. Dole Whips on
Oh
the
yeah, my
water
kids are
is
always
great.
like filthy when they eat
I
it, like
know.
filthy, because it just melts and it's all
It,
over them, and I'm like,
yeah, it's
oh,
in a location that has no shade, both in the park and out
or
of the
seating.
park. It like literally you get your Dole Whip in the park and then there's no shade to eat it. The citrus swirl is different. Don't even get me started on that. I have like a thing. I can't.
Trauma.
I was
No.
basically the citrus swirl didn't exist during the pandemic. It came back, and when I was employed, I missed that it came back for a blog, and you would have thought the world ended. So now I physically can't eat citrus swirl. So if you love it,
No.
I hope you really enjoy
You're
eating
not
it.
missing any of that.
I hope
It's
you enjoy it.
not
I know
good.
it's like frozen orange juice, but it physically nauseates me to my core now, and I can't eat it. But at least I can still
Yeah.
eat the Dole Whip. But I just, in
Yeah.
terms of like, there's Dole Whip merch, there's Dole Whip pins, there's Dole Whip like, I don't get it. I feel the same way about the churro candle that they have right now. Maybe in Disneyland where the churros are good, but like, have y'all had
I
a
mean,
Costco churro?
the churro candle smells really good though, and it's really
Okay,
cute.
it smells
Yeah, it's
good,
cute.
right? But we make all
Yeah.
this churro merch, like the churro ears, and we're pretending that our churros are good. And it's the same way I feel about a Dole Whip. Like, if you eat a Costco churro and then you come back to the park and you eat one, you're gonna be sad. You're not gonna be
You're
happy.
gonna
Maybe you'll
be
be happy
sad.
because you're in Magic Kingdom eating it, but like, if you were to buy that churro for the same price outside the park, I feel like you're not gonna be happy. I don't know.
I know.
I,
That's how I
I
feel about the Mickey pretzels too.
I
Yeah.
like them,
I
but I
mean, they're
think they're
good, but
so salty. I think they're so,
They
and
also,
for me,
certain
for it to be
batches taste
like,
like cardboard.
mm,
yeah, and for it to be like such an iconic snack, same thing. Like these are like the iconic, the Dole Whip, the
Yeah.
churro, the pretzel, and the turkey leg. They're these things
Yeah.
that are so famous, and they're just for me like, well, they're
Yep.
okay.
Yeah.
okay, well, I have one that's basically in line with what we're talking about,
I'm
so
ready.
I'm
Ooh.
going to go ahead and interject it here.
Okay,
The Mickey bar is totally overrated. It's
I would agree.
expensive,
I would agree.
and
Yeah.
it's just vanilla ice cream with chocolate, and like it's
But
not. Jesse,
I
but
would
I
you
agree.
know that I don't like these because every time Jesse and I work an event together where there's like Mickey bars and Mickey ice cream sandwiches, I make her get the Mickey bar and I get the ice cream sandwich to
Sandwich is
photograph and
supreme.
then eat, and like
every
The
time.
all
sandwich
the
is
time because the
supreme.
cookie sandwich is not overrated. It's amazing and delicious. The Mickey bar, it's just like what is the price on it now? It's like over. Is it like $6?
It's
Six
It's
over
like
something.
$6. You
tiny.
bite one piece and all the
It's over
chocolate
six
falls
dollars.
off. Again,
It's
impossible to
not,
get
and
pictures
it's just
of. It
vanilla
melts.
ice cream, and it doesn't even say like chocolate covering. It's like and a chocolate like covering, or it says something like
Yeah,
this
it says
Okay,
package
but
on
I
it.
it
We're
will
says
like,
chocolate.
say,
It says chocolate flavored coating, I believe.
there
yeah,
you
and
go.
I'm like, I don't. Is it? It what it?
What
Huh?
is it?
I
And
Like
love
also,
the
it's not like the
chocolate.
vanilla ice cream is like a good texture. It's like a air. It's like an air.
icy. It's icy.
It's like
Yeah,
an
it's
air
not good.
texture.
You guys are knocking my Mickey bar so hard.
I know.
It's
So
not that I'm
rude.
knocking your Mickey bar. It's that I'm knocking Walt Disney World for charging $6.50 for it
Yeah, I just
when
think it's overrated. It's like again,
you
it's one
can't.
of these like
Yeah.
iconic snacks, but like it's not great. And if you were to
Yeah.
pay for it like that price for it anywhere else, you wouldn't. Like you'd be like this is
No.
not worth the money. But for
Yeah.
some reason, you walk through the gates of the Magic Kingdom and you lose that like part of your brain that's like, don't do that. And you're just like, yeah, I'm going to spend $1 million on this thing that's not that good.
Yeah.
And I'm guilty of it. We're all guilty of it. There's no
God,
shame in
yeah.
doing it, but it's overrated. People lose their minds over them.
They do.
And there's way better snacks out there that you can get that are either the
Yeah.
same price or less, or
I tried to
Yeah.
think
No,
about
I
this
get
list
it.
really in terms of social media as well, like what things were so important. And I remember like the prices of those change was so important and so crazy. And I just like I also try to view things too as like I try to put myself out of my experience and try to be like if I was visiting or if I had a family. You're buying these and you're sitting in the sun and your kids can't eat them quick enough. Like I can eat ice cream fast.
yes.
Because of who I am as a human. But like smaller children can't, chew ice cream. They can't.
Oh,
Their
yeah.
teeth are sensitive. Like they're not me.
Yeah.
So like it's gonna melt, especially during this time of year. By the time like I think there was a couple months, January to February, where I bought like a Dole Whip. I bought them and I was able to like wait, didn't melt, didn't
Right. Get
anywhere
some
past
pictures
then.
of it before it just,
And
Yeah.
it is messy.
I mean,
Like for kids, the chocolate.
yeah, I mean,
No.
I'm an adult, and when we had one last time, it was literally dripping down my hands, and I'm like, like trying to eat this ice cream as fast as I can because I'm not a quick ice cream eater, but I still had ice cream and chocolate, and I was like looking at Kristen like with my hands like this, like a puppy dog, and she's like, "Oh, I have a wipe," and I was like, "You have a wipe?" And she
I
gave
love
me a
that.
wipe to clean my manos.
I
yeah.
love a mom.
I was like, don't worry.
I was
Mother
like,
love wipes.
I need
No
a
worries. No worries.
I was like, I need a bathroom. I need to wash my hands. She's like, oh no, I have a wipe. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh, wipe.
Can you imagine what
Yeah.
would we do?
What would we
Yeah.
do without the moms in the world? I
I
don't
love
know.
that for you, Kristen.
It was
Gotta bring
great.
those. I order them just parenting hack. I order on Amazon like the wet wipes, and I order the box, and then there's just in my car,
Yep.
and because it comes with like 12 in the thing, so you just like the little individual packets of them. One in my bag, one in the car, one in the park bag. I just leave one on the stroller, just everywhere because
Yeah.
these
I
ice cream
have
treats in the summer, man.
I have like
Mm-mm.
the little individual like tiny square ones, but they're sitting in my kitchen and I always forget to grab them.
Yeah, no. Mm-mm.
There's just a lot
Gotta
of
So
have
ways
it.
to
I
get
own
sticky.
them.
There's just a lot of like treats, sticky, like cotton candy, cinnamon roll,
Oh,
the ice cream,
so
Oh
much
yeah.
like
sticky.
ices.
It doesn't.
Just
It doesn't even. It doesn't matter if it's like a sticky treat. I was sending you guys yesterday. I was at Port Orleans French Quarter.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
For
Eating beignets.
at my day job. Yeah, eating beignets, which I know sounds just awful. But like, I just first of all, I wore black, which was just
That was a
the
party
dumbest
foul.
thing a person can do. So
Dumb.
I send these gals a picture, and I was like, why do I always do this? And then I just was sticky from the powdered sugar. My phone was sticky. My hands were sticky. I had to go to. I was the wipes were the wipes weren't even helping at this
Didn't do
point. Like
anything.
they didn't do anything. I'm like getting water, and it was just a mess.
Had to
So
go take
like
like a
yeah,
bath.
yeah, literally, like, yeah. Just there's my nails, everything was not okay.
I know.
All right. So Jessie, what do you got next?
All right, I have another ride for you. So Dole Whip was also on my list. Dole Whip, it is also overrated. But I have another ride. So the ride that I wrote down was Seven Dwarves Mine Train.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. So the coaster
I like
itself.
it.
Okay, yes, the
It
coaster
doesn't
itself.
mean we don't like it.
It's
It's just
cute.
like,
But
yeah,
am I gonna
Sure.
wait 70, 80, 100, 120 minutes for it? No. The
It's
only time I've
short.
ever, yeah, the only time I've ever ridden it without a lightning lane was immediately after fireworks. Like 4 years
yeah,
ago, I ran there and
Yeah.
I was able to get in line and wait like 35 minutes, which was amazing. But
yeah,
anything, after that, like you literally can't get on without waiting at least 60 minutes.
yeah,
And it's not worth it. It's short. Yes, it's smooth. The way that the lap bar sits always kills my thighs. And like I'm
Yeah,
not a huge human, but it kills
that's
my
true.
freaking legs.
yeah,
No,
Yeah,
it's
it squeezes
uncomfortable.
me.
I
Yeah,
I
it's
feel
not
very
comfy. They didn't
similar.
make it
I feel
like
very similar about Remy's Ratatouille Adventure, but I think that Snow White's has a worse line almost. And Remy is new, which tells you a lot, but like Snow White's just
Yeah.
like there is something about it where there is just a lot of people who have still not ridden it. So like she said, the line
yeah,
is always crazy. Um,
Yeah.
some of the line is covered, but a chunk of it you're out there with like
Yeah, I've been
house
rained out
fans.
on that
They
too.
didn't. Yeah, they didn't put like
Little
special. They're like house fans, like
little baby fans.
baby
Like,
fans
what is
pointing
this
at
gonna
you.
do for me?
There
Yeah.
is a lot of interactive stuff like for little kids inside, but again,
The
like
gems.
so many people touch those,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
then
I
it's
yeah, I
think
cute,
can
the
see
but
it.
it's
appeal
not
of
worth
that
it.
one too is like I'm not a coaster person, but I have ridden that one and I don't mind that one because it's
It's
not
it's
like
a
a
family-friendly
crazy,
coaster.
yeah. And my kids have been on it. Now they say that they didn't like it and they won't go on it again because they're butts. But
Good,
that
I
one
don't
like
want to wait in that
appeals.
line anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no skin off my back. It's fine. But yeah, I think that's the appeal of that one. I have one, Yolanda. I'm gonna go insert mine next
Go
because
for
it's
it.
similar. I think Slinky Dog is very overrated. I don't,
Okay.
I don't get
I
it.
love Slinky
No,
Dog.
I rode it once. I didn't think it was any great. Again, I'm not a coaster person, so I'm not like. But the
Neither is
line,
Yolanda.
you're gonna wait 120 minutes in the burning Central Florida sun with no shade to get on that.
No.
Nah, mm-mm,
And then
that's not
and
it.
then
yes,
be on the coaster in the sun too, like
Yeah.
full
yeah, but the
sun.
views are
Oh,
but the views are supreme. It does the cute little slinky movement. It's not that short. It's so good.
I love Slinky Dog. I do, but I'm not waiting 120 minutes for it.
no, and that's
I'm
another
sad,
example of like
man.
what they promised us is not what we got. Like there was supposed to be like an underground portion and it
Yeah.
was supposed to be longer and then of course they pared it down because money and we got what we got and it's fine. I just think it's overrated. I just don't understand why people are like why the lightning lane on that one is gone at 7 o'clock and 30 seconds every morning
That
when
is very
like
true.
there's no like, why? I don't, there's literally a million other things to do that are way better than that, that I would,
Yeah.
like, I don't get that. So
I
it's
just
in the
think we're
same
going
vein. Like,
so
I get
far
it because it's
saying like
family
way better.
friendly, but I don't,
I do love Slinky Dog, but yeah, I'm not waiting on that line.
no, I just think I don't get it. It's overrated. All right,
Yeah.
Yolanda, what you got?
Ooh. I can do like a restaurant one, or I can
Go
Yeah.
do
for it.
like a okay, because this is a very hot take
Whatever
restaurant
you
one.
want.
Yeah, we haven't done a
I
restaurant yet, so.
tragically, but I also I'm gonna put everyone in my headspace. I follow a lot of Disney Instagrammers that are my age, so I'm 28. I follow a lot of people who I think are between 23 through 35, around there. I know one of them is in her 50s. I learned last week. I was shocked. She was
You don't
she's in
follow
her
me. I'm 40, so.
no, she well, I'll just create with Kathy. Her page is amazing, and she's 48. And I knew she was older just based on her facial features, but I did not think she was almost 50. And so she is. Her transitions are amazing. She's so creative, and I was just really shocked. I didn't realize. I should have mathed it based on all of her posts about her work experience and how she became a creator, but I didn't put it together. And so I just think that's amazing for her, and I was floored. So
I love that.
the diversity of Disney influences is always really cool, and I had no idea. But most of the people I follow are within my age range, and like childless millennials will go right, and a lot of them are obsessed with Topolino's Terrace. Okay, I'm just gonna say it, and they're obsessed with the Riviera Resort, and I can see how for
I am.
photos, I don't get it. I can see for photos how Riviera is so pretty. But I think there's so many other resorts that have like better pools that are really pretty, but specifically Topolino's Terrace, I think it is very, very worth it like once. But the amount of food I got for dinner and the amount that I paid, I feel like there's other Italian restaurants even on property that you just get so much more. I
Yeah.
mean, there is the one on the boardwalk I've gone, and you get a lot of pasta. And I've gone to there's one at this one in Dolphin. It's an Italian restaurant that I can't remember the name of, and I think
El Molino.
El Molino. Yeah, and I just
So
like
good.
I loved the flavors at Topolino's Terrace. Everything I had was delicious. The view was, in fact, very
Yeah.
pretty. But I mean, I paid $50 for an entree that was,
Tiny.
Yeah, it's expensive.
Yeah.
It's
I
yeah.
our
haven't
breakfast
been.
there was we just ate there recently. I've eaten both breakfast and dinner there, and then I had breakfast there again recently. Um, and yeah, it's expensive for a
I've heard
family of
breakfast
four.
is more worth it though. Like for
Oh,
the
for
price,
sure.
I've heard you get more.
Yeah, for the price. I mean, it was still very expensive for a breakfast,
Yes.
but you get the characters, you get the view. They did not rush us out of there, which was nice because I don't know, my kids were just taking forever to eat, and you didn't feel. I don't know. Sometimes I feel like after all the characters have been to your table, I don't know if
Table.
anybody else feels like this. Like you almost feel like, okay, it's time to go.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
And or you know what I mean? Like they're
Yeah.
like, okay, hop on out. But like, yeah, my kids were just taking forever, and there was no rush. So I personally don't think that one's overrated. I think you go knowing that you're going to spend a pretty penny on good food, but like fancy food, right? Like where it's good, but the portions are small. So I think you go into that
Yeah.
one knowing what you're
Yeah.
going to get, and you're going for the views. You're going just to go to that resort and all that it has to offer. And
I think I could see it from your a paying for the view standpoint. Like that's part of
yeah,
what you're the price.
and I think some
Yeah.
Disney restaurants too, like you go again, like you go into it knowing that like this is going to cost you. Like you're not getting out of here for under $300. Doesn't matter. Like you're going and you're
Yeah.
going to spend a lot of money, and but you're going for the whole experience. And I remember when I went, like the drinks were really good. The just the experience, the whole atmosphere at night was really nice. And
That makes sense.
if that's in your budget and you can do it, great. If it's not in your budget and you want to save up for it and do it, fine. But like you do have to know in some of these experiences. I mean,
They're
That
crazy.
that's
all
true.
magic
Because
comes
I
at a
will say,
price.
like when I went to Jaico, I thought that the food was extremely worth it. But that
Yeah.
was probably one of the best Disney meals I've had aside from Victoria and Albert's, but
Yeah, I've
that's
had good
different. But
meals at
like
Chico too. I like that one.
amazing. But to Kristen's point, it's the same price point and there is no view. So it really does
Yeah.
depend on like what you're looking for. Like, there's kind of a view of the savannah, but the most of the
At night you
restaurant,
can't really see it. It's dark,
nope.
so that's the
And
thing
I was there
too.
at
A lot
night,
of
and
them,
most of
like
the
Yeah.
view
even
is the
Sanaa
restaurant.
at night, like you can't see. It's delicious, but like we eat lunch there, so you could see everything because
Yeah,
otherwise.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
so again, I'm gonna interject mine because it's in the same vein as Yolanda's.
Go for it.
Okay.
My overrated restaurant on my list is Chef Mickey's.
Yeah.
I could
I
see.
get it.
I feel like everyone when they're visiting for like the first is like we have to go to Chef Mickey's, but
Yeah,
I can agree there is much better character dining, flavor wise,
there's
There
also.
are.
yeah here's the thing. I'm like a case study in having like two personalities because on one hand it's totally overrated and I'm not going and the food is not good, and yes, you get to see Mickey Mouse and like those core characters,
Cool chef
but the
outfit.
interaction I feel like is not even that good. I feel like that restaurant is so big they don't even spend time with you in that restaurant.
Yes.
So there's that. But then the other part of me is like, oh, I should take Hunter for his birthday because he likes me. Like, there's like this a weird, like, it's totally overpriced. The food is not good. The interaction isn't good. And I'm like, oh, look, I can get a Chef Mickey's reservation. Like, I don't know
Yeah.
why I'm two people living in the same body. I don't get that.
Yeah.
So I
Why
get
your
it.
brain
People
doesn't
go
know.
there. You're going to go there. You get the Magic Kingdom views and the monorail. And it is like that quintessential Disney character dining experience.
And I
But
think
my
that's where
God,
people go.
Tusker House is a way better option. The
Cape
interaction
May.
there is way better. The food is way better. Like, I mean, there's just
Yeah.
Topolino's breakfast, honestly, in my opinion, is better because the food is good. You don't
Yeah.
have to get up and go to the buffet, so you're not missing the characters, which is so annoying.
I
So,
also think like Chef Mickey's is just like more iconic. Like I think that's why people are saying in their heads, I need to go to Chef Mickey's, I need to go to Chef Mickey's. It's at the Contemporary, it's the original character dining.
I
So people are really like hooked on the fact that it is Chef Mickey's, which I mean, I was one of them. Like I love Chef Mickey's. I had the phone case, I had the watch band. Like they're just so cute.
I
But
mean,
yes, the food is not great. You know what you're paying for. You don't get that much
yeah.
time with the characters. So I
You
get it.
don't,
I
and I
think it's
feel like
overrated,
there's
but
yeah.
I feel like it almost feels like an overpriced like cafeteria as well. Like the environment, other than okay, you can see the monorail and you're in this atrium. The tables
yeah.
are very close together. They're not necessarily very themed tables. They just have like the Mickey on the back of the chair. Like I
Yeah.
just don't get a lot of like wow from it. Where if I compare it to Cape May, I did work there, but like the theming in Cape May is very beachy and like the music is
Yeah.
very like it's just, and their outfits are, well, it's the whole point, you see different outfits, but I like the buffet at Cape May slaps, is amazing.
Yeah.
The one at Chef Mickey's is very basic, and same thing for you, the one you said, Tusker House, the buffet slaps. There's so many different
So
stuff. It's
good.
so good. There's
So good.
so I would agree with that one. It is like, but I feel like people, no matter what, like Kristen said, will still always book it, and I just
Yes, and I'm that person saying it's overrated, and then I'm gonna be like, oh look, Chef Mickey's is open. I will book
Yeah.
that restaurant. Like so,
Yeah.
I don't.
That's the thing. Like, whenever my little cousins come, they want to go to Chef Mickey's, and they're like, "Oh, you want to come to Chef Mickey's with us?" And I was like, "Yeah, of
Yeah.
course," because
I
it's a
always do
fun
that.
experience. But
Yeah.
it's
I
yeah,
always do that with my friends, where like if my friends are in town, right? If my Philly friends are in town with their family, I always tell them like, you guys are the ones visiting, so I'm gonna do whatever you want to do. And
what
so
do you want
like,
to do?
Yeah.
yeah, so like if they decided, like for instance, I've not been to Chef Mickey in like probably like 8 years.
Years.
If they decided we're gonna go to Chef Mickey's for breakfast, okay, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And do I
Absolutely.
feel like it's a cafeteria, and do I feel like it's overrated? Yes.
Yes.
But am I gonna go, one, to spend time with them,
Yes.
and two, because it's something that I wouldn't choose to do, but now I can say I'm doing it?
Yeah.
Absolutely I will.
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah. I
the
ain't
same
turning
with
it
like,
down. So
I'm the same with, yeah, when like David has friends and family that are visits, they're like, oh, we're gonna eat at this restaurant. I'm like, oh, weird choice, but like add us to the
Okay.
reservation. Like put us
Yeah.
in there, you know, like, so I get that mind frame, Kristen, of like, well, like,
yeah, I
might
am
as
two
well do
people.
it.
One is like absolutely not, and the other's like, where do I sign? Where right
Yeah.
Yeah,
right here.
I
literally,
know.
Where do I? Okay, good.
I feel like that about a lot of Disney things, though. Like, yes, maybe it's overrated, but that's the thing. Like,
Oh yeah, it
you
doesn't
still
stop
love
me.
it, and you still want to
yeah.
enjoy the experience. So whether it's overrated or not, like, you're going on the ride, you're going to the restaurant, you're gonna go buy that thing that you want. Like, it just
And that
happens.
I think becomes too like I'm talking to all the moms out there because you it doesn't matter what it is when you have kids, you just want to see that look on your child's face, so you don't
Yeah.
care anymore. You're like, oh, spend a bajillion dollars on this dumb thing. Yeah, because look how happy they are for 10 seconds. Like,
Right.
absolutely, yes. So that's
Yeah.
what Chef Mickey's is like. That's just like Hunter likes those characters and he likes the monorails a lot. He likes all Disney transportation, but he really loves
All
monorails. So
transportation.
like getting to see them go through the atrium and it does. So that's why we're like, oh, for his birthday, that's what we're. Yeah, of course, because
So cute.
that's the thing.
Little baby
So.
Hunter.
Maybe
All right,
that's it.
let's do one
Love him.
more each. Jesse, you want to go first?
Yes, I have a super fun one. You ready for it?
Yes.
It's Disney ears.
Oh boy. So
Why?
objectively, yes, I agree with you, but
These
I'm
are
half on
Kristen.
half on this one,
Yeah.
because I could say the same for spirit jerseys, so I'm half and half on this
I
one.
know. Yes,
yeah,
I think.
okay. So you guys know I collect ears. I
Yeah.
think probably about 300 now. I have to count. I have a lot, and
301.
one because Jessie bought me the Ursula ears the other day when she saw them. So, yeah, I have a lot, but and I love them. But objectively, I get it. Like, I live here and I go to Disney all the time. It's my day job. It's my side hustle. It's like everything. So
Everything.
I go and I
Yeah.
wear
Yeah.
them. Not during the summer because it's just a little warm and I don't need
Too hot.
anything else on my being. But like, the other 9 months out of the year, I wear them and I coordinate them and I love them. I feel like maybe if you don't come here very often, and so you're taking a trip for like a once in
Yep.
a lifetime, or you're not coming back for 5 years, I don't know that that's what you should be spending your money on souvenir wise.
I mean, I do understand people display them also. They'll hang them in their house and they put them on, like, I put mine on
True.
stuffed animals. And by mine, I mean the ones that I find for $5 that are like way out of season that nobody wanted. And I'm like, oh, they're kind of cute. I'll stick it on a stuffed animal. So, I have some like that. I will not spend the $30 on them that they are. But I mean, for some people like you absolutely love them, but you do wear them a lot. When it's, like a Spirit jersey, for example, I think they're overrated because of how expensive they are now, which is why I'm picky and choosy with the ones that I buy.
Yeah.
But other than that, I wear them all the time. Like, I'm wearing one now.
You
I
do,
wear them
yeah,
all
you wear
around the
them way
house.
more.
I wear them a lot.
Mine, My like dislike of spirit jerseys comes from the price and then the fact that I know that a lot of people are visiting, but they are weirdly popular with Florida people, and I
Yeah.
don't be
Yeah.
getting it because like
I'm always
it's too
cold,
much.
so I
Yeah,
wear them
and
all
so
the
that's
time.
like for me, I try not to. I don't own like I have a closet of winter outfits, and if you ever go through like my Instagram, I've worn the same winter outfits on vacation for years now. And so for me,
Yeah.
it just doesn't benefit me to buy long sleeve shirts like spirit jerseys because I won't wear them. I wear a lot more like cardigans and jackets. But for the ears, I'm half and half because I have a full shelf of them because there's some pairs that I really 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 like. But the problem is that I'm a chronic migraine girly, and so like I cannot deal with anything on my head for more than 30 minutes. Even
Same.
hats. I don't even like wearing hats. I wear sunglasses, but the sunglasses hurt. Like it's just any type of remote added pressure in or around my face. Can't do it. And like ears kill me, but they look so cute and they add so much to an outfit. And so I will literally bring them and then shove in my bag the rest of the day after I've taken like 3 photos. Or I put them on like if I'm going to Epcot and maybe have a dinner reservation somewhere fun, like I'll wear them when I get to that dinner like I'll
Yeah.
pop them
Yeah.
on for photos. So like I do own a lot of them and I like collecting some pairs, like the Figment ones that just came out that there was the
Oh
craze
yeah,
over
you
that
have
was
those for me
like
too. See,
you
everyone
Yeah.
have those
at
too,
any
but
given time, there's somebody with ears for me on this planet.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But I couldn't not get them too because I was like, well, they're Figment, so I have to have them. But
Yeah.
like
They're cute.
yeah, so I'm very 50-50. I do slightly think they're worth the price. I do think there's a lot of small shops that make really amazing ones, but I just wish
Oh yeah.
I'm very confused as to why we can't figure out just to put some extra padding, like little pillows behind like because the
Yeah.
Sherpa ears that came out last year, they have like Sherpa on the lining and they're actually a little bit more comfortable for me
Comfortable, yeah.
be- because of that. And there's some
Yeah.
ears that are also a tighter headband than some.
Yes.
I don't know why,
They don't all
but
fit
there
the
are.
same. I have pairs that I'm like, oh, these are my comfortable, like these are my comfort ones that I'm gonna wear today. And then there's ones that I'm like, oh god,
Yep.
these are work.
So
But
painful.
they look good with
Don't even
this, like,
attempt the
yeah.
light up ones. Don't even attempt those. Those are
No,
the
I
Oh
don't.
most
God,
I think
no.
I have
painful.
one pair of those, and I got them for Hunter, and like it was just literally for him to wear them for 10 minutes. Like remember the Star
I
Wars
mean,
ones
they're
that like the
fun.
I
lightsabers that lit up.
I have the Star Wars ones because someone gave it to me and I was like, all right, cool, great. They're on my wall.
Yeah.
They are
Just
fun.
hang there.
They're
Yeah,
just
Yeah,
I
plain
they're
think
fun.
too
cute.
Disney is getting really like wild with some of these designs that they do.
They are.
I feel like they're not. I don't know. There's some I don't. I buy a lot of them, and I used to pretty much buy every pair, but like not so much anymore because ones come out that I'm like,
There's too many.
it's not even that there's too many, they're just not cute. Like, sorry
Yeah.
if I'm
They're
offending
wagging.
anyone, but like the Tinkerbell ones that came out not long ago that are like hot pink and neon yellow, I was like,
Oh
they
God.
gave me a headache just looking at them. And
Where do
then
you get hot pink with Tinkerbell?
yeah,
I,
they were a choice, and
No,
I just feel
they're
like
wild
even
in my
like the
hair.
elemental ears are cute, but they are not
yeah.
like that classic like ear bow sort of like
Mm.
it. So I feel like they're kind of getting a little wild with them, and I might
I
like
was
some of
just
them, but I'm like,
thinking this
that's
the
not what
other
I
day.
want. What'd you
But
say?
I was just thinking about the wild thing the other day because literally I am like, okay, so as we said in the other episode, the rose gold craze is what started like ear fandom. And like it's
Yeah.
two ears in the bow. And I am a fan of like and then as Christmas ears, as Halloween ears came out over the last like 7 years, we saw like fun different colored bows with like different color and I love that. And now like the 50th collections, right? For some reason, they added little hats on everything. And then the Haunted Mansion ears that came out, I love them, but they put these giant eyes on them. And then like the Ursula ears, they put that hat in them. Like, we need to, yeah, what is, I know she has hair, but there
It's a
had to have
lot.
been a cuter way, a bow way to do this. Like, I think that Disney's just
They're
out here
cute.
wilding now.
Yeah,
Like, they're,
they are. Remember the teacup 50th
we're,
ones? So it was like the
With
oh
the
my
teacup
God,
cup.
and the cups. I measured them, and they were legit at least like 13 inches tall, like from the bottom
Yeah.
of the band to the top of that cup. And I was like, who is wearing these? Because like you are
who,
adding a full foot to your height. Like you're
I
gonna
mean,
hit
this
a
is
door
even a
frame when
lot.
you go
Like
through it.
this is
I just
pretty
don't
high
get it.
too.
Like, just
But
give me cute bows or make the ears cute things. Like, make these, like, in Shanghai, they have little burgers and, like, you have the ones that do,
Yeah.
like, the churros and then there's pumpkins. Like, but why we gotta add
Yeah,
stuff
they're getting a little
between
Height.
crazy, which is
like
fine,
I
but it's
really
like
wish there was a way for me to cut the new eyes off the Haunted Mansion ones because I love that Haunted Mansion print that they just came out with.
I
It's like a
bought those. I
purple
can look
Madame
and see
Leota
if there's
print.
a way. Because I've done that
I'm sure
before. You
there
know
is.
the Captain Marvel
I've
ones with
cut
the
those off
mohawk?
before.
I cut that mohawk right off. Like I've like there's ones that have the veil that I'm like I don't cut that right
You
off.
don't
So
need
like
the
yeah, I've
veil.
kind of
Yeah.
like had
I've
to
cut
mod
bows
some
off
of them.
before.
Yeah.
But
I'll look
yeah,
and
I
see if I
agree.
can cut the eyes
Disney's
off of
wild
those.
and Jesse, you look so cute with ears though. Okay, wait.
Thank you. Yeah, I will absolutely wear them anytime Kristen brings them into the park.
They're cute.
Yes, this is true. All right,
But again,
Yolanda,
like
what's your
I don't like it
next
on my head.
My
overrated? Yo,
next
what do you got?
my next
Make it a
overrated.
quick one.
Ooh. I feel like I feel like I wasn't ready with a quick one.
All right,
But
go
I
for
have
it.
a
if I
really
had to
controversial
choose
one when you're ready.
if I had to choose one, it's obviously just out of bitterness, and it's like the movie slash the ride. It's the Frozen everything,
Uh,
Frozen the
Frozen
show,
everything.
Frozen the ride that took away Maelstrom, but I'll get over it one day, probably not. And then the stage
One
show,
day.
which is the stage show is really cute, but like it's like I use it to go to
It's so
sleep.
cute.
And then also there's like so much for like there's Frozen in the Castle show, and then there's Frozen in Happily Ever After, and then there's so many movies that we could be highlighting. It's Frozen everywhere, and like I worked at Disney when Frozen happened, so like I got Frozen overload. I also worked at Cape May, and for some reason people were like, "We can be Anna and Elsa," and I was like, "No." And I know that Frozen makes a lot of kids happy, so
I love Frozen.
okay, but there's so much else we could embrace the way that we've embraced Frozen. And I just think she's kind of like
Yeah.
infected every park. Like
I
Animal
do
Kingdom
feel
is
like
the
it's
Yeah.
only
taken
safe place I
over
have.
the Norway pavilion a little bit
It
much.
has. It's not Norway anymore.
Yeah.
It's just Frozen.
It's just
And like I get
It's
it,
just
but
Frozen.
yeah,
And I just don't think like it's like I said, like there's the stage show, and then there's also she's in the castle show. Like there's if we're gonna put her in the stage show, like a whole show in Hollywood Studios, do you need them in the castle show in Magic? Like I just it's a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah,
And
I think they're
how
just trying to get people to go to each park to see each Frozen attraction or, like Epcot, you can meet and greet, you can ride their ride. Hollywood Studios, you see the stage show, which I love, by the way, and they're so funny. Has nothing to
it's a
do with
good
Elsa. I could
show.
give whatever, like, it's a
Yeah,
great show, and it's funny because it has adult humor, which I love.
it does. And the
So
air
the stage
conditioning
show,
is
I'm all
great.
about.
Yeah, I just
Yes, and it snows inside. I just think it's so cool. I don't think she needed to be in the Magic Kingdom Castle show, but I
no. But
understand that
she's in
she
the parade.
is. She's in
Yeah,
the
she's in
parade.
the
Yeah, I mean,
parade. So like
but so is Mickey Mouse.
I
yeah,
know,
but
but
I
it
mean
just feels
he's
like
got to
we've
be
literally had to
everywhere.
cancel. We've had
Yeah.
to like cancel Merida's meet and greet to make room for Maribel, but yet Miss Elsa and Anna can be everywhere. So it just
Yeah.
feels like we're not really being like fair here, and I don't know. And
Yeah.
then also, I don't
I
really
get
love
it.
how Elsa took over like the Christmas party, like the lighting the lights and everything like that.
Yeah.
I just
I mean,
she's just I don't
Yeah,
know
it's
the whole
saturation. The movie I think is really good, and I don't think it's overrated.
I love both
And I
of them.
like how the movie
I think the movies
focuses
are
on
good.
like the sisterhood and not like that stuff. But it's just saturated at this point, and it
Yes,
does
It is.
it wears on you when you're here a lot. That it's like, oh look,
it
we're on
does.
an Elsa. This is fun for
More
us.
for yeah, like I know I think the movies are actually great. I just think like you said it's an oversaturation in the parks and Animal Kingdom is physically my only safe space from them. So,
All
thank
right,
God
I
for
have
At the
that.
one
moment.
more, and it's very
Okay.
controversial, and I'm
Go
gonna
for it.
drop it, and then we're just gonna end it. So like y'all can just like marinate
Leave it at
in the
that.
heinous thing that I'm about to say.
I'll
I
see.
think Happily Ever After is way overrated.
Yeah, we can
Uh,
end it cuz I don't
I
agree.
don't I don't know how to respond to that.
Yeah, I get it. It's a good show, but when people thought that it was leaving before the 50th and they lost their minds, I was like, I don't it's good. Is it the best fireworks show Disney's ever done? Nope, it's not.
No, but it does have like strong meaning. Like when it came to Enchantment, I felt nothing
Oh,
watching
Enchantment was
Enchantment.
hot garbage. I'm not
I
comparing it
was
to
like,
that at all.
I like the You Are the
I
Magic
just
song. I
I
was
take
like, this
Happily
is
Ever
fine.
After over Enchantment literally any day. I
Yeah.
just feel like people lose their minds over Happily Ever After when they've done in Disney World and Disneyland fireworks shows that are far superior, far superior.
Yeah.
And people have just they just gloss over all that and they're like Happily Ever After, Happily Ever After. I get it. It's a good show. It has all of the elements of a good show. It tugs at your heartstrings and the emotions and all that stuff. But there are better fireworks show wishes. I'm just
Wishes.
saying.
I mean, I
Yes, I
think the
do.
song is a bop.
I love
Like,
Wishes. I did cry over Wishes too, but I also cried over Happily Ever After. They were just different milestones in my life for me.
mm-hmm.
So that was a little different. Where Happily Ever After has more meaning to me being in Orlando, where Wishes had more meaning to me living in South Florida. So for me, like it was again different time
Yeah,
zones,
and I'm
different
not
parts of my life.
necessarily
But
talking about the emotional attachments to the show because if we're
yeah.
talking about emotional attachments to shows, Illuminations wins hands down best ever emotional
Oh yeah,
attachment for me and probably Yolanda as well. But
Yeah.
I'm
yeah.
talking objectively like and I understand Happily Ever has all like the projections and it's great, but like I just feel like the story that it
Yeah.
Tells.
tells yeah, like yes, it is still here. The story
Currently
that it
tells.
tells is great and it's so Disney, but there's better stories through fireworks that we've seen in the past. Yes, Wishes, but there's a bunch of Disneyland ones too from like way back in the day when like they just kind of started this, that were just better and
Yeah.
that just told that more unique that Disney story in a better way. That's my hot.
I watched
Not
it
only
from
is
my
it a
pool last night and listened to the soundtrack, so I have no place in this conversation.
I just would
I
take Wishes
I
any
I
day
can
over it.
I can agree only because I feel like I was attached to it as Jesse said because of the time in my life, but I didn't have such strong feelings about it until I watched Enchantment, and then that's when I was like, what the heck, man? Like bring that back. So like
What is
but I
this?
can't say it's overrated because people really have embraced it like crazy. There's people who've cosplayed as the castle lit up as happily ever after. There's I mean yeah it's the
It has gone
craze that
crazy.
Yeah, and
happens.
I don't get that, especially because, like I said, objectively, there's just better
Better
fireworks
shows.
shows,
I get
and
that.
I also like again with the castle projection, like I kind of don't like I don't I want a fireworks show. I don't if I wanted a projection show, then that's what I would go. I liked when they were like separate. It was like they did
That
the
is
little
that is
show.
actually always my biggest like pet peeve that I say when people ask me about wishes and happily ever after is that wishes you could experience from anywhere in the like as long as you could hear the music you could experience it and I shared the same sentiment about harmonious that I do happily ever after, especially with my mom using a wheelchair. Is that like if you do not have a good spot where you can't see the projections, the enjoyment of the show or the experience that you get
Yeah.
is really different. So
Yeah.
I get that.
I get that. Yeah.
All right. There it is, guys. We went a little long this week, but we have
Sorry.
opinions and they're very strong and we need to
Yes.
like
You.
vomit them all over the place. That's what we did. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. We love you guys so much. Thank you so much for listening. Definitely drop
Yes.
your comments in about what you think is overrated and tell us that we're wrong. I mean, not me, obviously, about Happily Ever After. I'm 100% correct about that. But,
Me
like,
about Rise.
yeah, all of you are overrated and how we're wrong about other things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But thank you guys so much. We make the show for you, and we
Yeah.
hope that you enjoy listening to it. And have a good week.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Have a good week.
Bye.